Hello, everyone. I'm Andrew Reed, Juris Doctor, Small Business Development, IT, and Marketing Guru from sunny Victoria, BC. Follow me for new podcasts on beginner investing and business as I survive, grow, and prosper in a post-COVID Canada. Disclaimer: my podcast and YouTube content offer very generalized information that has been beneficial to me. Always do your homework and make sure that any moves that you make are truly in your own personal best interest. Nothing in my content is any kind of advice, and continuing to listen constitutes acceptance of this disclaimer in its entirety. Hello, everyone. This week's podcast is on the topic of speeding up the wealth building process. These are my strategies that I implement as often as possible to help compensate for the fact that I am starting so relatively late in life. These strategies could be adapted to speed the process in general for almost anyone. So here they are, and best of luck as always. Some of these are basic and well known, but they will be mentioned because of their proven effectiveness. Number 1, budgeting. The counting calories of the financial world. Hold yourself accountable through accounting. You could even do this with paper and a pen and a notebook. So really, it is a matter of self-discipline and willpower. For example, write out your estimated monthly income and expected expenses. If you are running a business or doing side hustles, then you can put your realistically projected numbers for the month as income. The number you get when you subtract your total expenses from your total income is your projected net revenue. This net revenue should be used to, number 1, pay off debt. Number 2, pay yourself, asset investments. And then number 3, self-care, extras, treat yourself. Force yourself to make an accounting entry for every time you spend any money. The mere hassle alone will help you cut down on spending, and you will have a better chance of staying within your budget. And say you achieve this, the next logical step would be number 2, cutting costs. So this is reducing expenses. I personally love going through my expense list and chopping it down by negotiating, optimizing, and reducing consumption or sourcing things at a better cost. For example, I will periodically review my phone and internet bill to see if I am getting the best possible deal at the minimal amount of bandwidth I need to effectively conduct business from wherever I am. For me, I still need unlimited international calling, data, and text. But I am paying less than 100 Canadian for this monthly with a decent Huawei P30 Pro phone that I outright own. So hey, my fellow Canadians will appreciate this carefully negotiated rate in a land where we are gouged by big telecom. I will create a podcast in the future that outlines tactics that I've used to negotiate to reduce expenses. Now, you can treat cost cutting as a variable that you can manipulate, and you can bring it to more extreme levels, speeding up the wealth building process if you decide that is what suits you best. So you can go so far as to budget food and groceries, plan meals, slashing hobby times and pace, reducing your home and vehicle expenses by living as far below your means as you like. Now, I'm not saying I recommend that or any of that, but it is a variable that you can manipulate at will to increase your wealth building speed. So, regardless of what level you take cost cutting to, using your budget to track this cost cutting, you can literally see the difference that cutting costs will have on your bottom line, and it's impressive. Cutting cost is of equal importance in the wealth building equation to its partner. Number 3, increasing income. There are no limits to this. Here are some of the common ways that wealth minded people increase their income: more pay at their daily job, or getting a new job if need be that pays more, having a part time night and weekend job, side hustles like dog walking or babysitting, businesses like my store, babydragonfitness.com, content creation like YouTube or podcasters, investment income like dividends. So, my research brought me to this conclusion: if you make income above and beyond your budget, let it add to your net revenue, and then flow in this order to the most effective places, which I will repeat for emphasis. Number 1, pay off your debt. Number 2, pay yourself, like asset investments. And then number 3, self care extras, treat yourself. So you can see the general priority level. You're paying off, the high interest debt, which is going to cost you more than asset investments can make you. And then once you're done that, you're going to pay yourself. You're going to build those assets that will create income streams. And then after that is done, take care of yourself, treat yourself. That's what it's all really about in the end, anyways, right? So you can definitely dial the increase the income knob all the way up as well. So in this case, that could mean getting high paying short term trade skills and jobs and possibly going to rougher climates. Now, a rougher climate for me is anywhere not on southern Vancouver Island. But getting this kind of short term trade job, combine that with some extreme cost cutting, and you can generate a lot of wealth relatively very quickly in this way. Um, some other methods are working more hours in the day on less sleep. And yes, that could be horribly bad for you. I'm not recommending it or any of these other extreme measures per se. I'm just saying it is a variable you can adjust. I think of income itself as two main variables. So the amount of money per hour, and that's per every hour you are alive, not just when you're working, and the number of hours worked. So you have the amount of money per hour times the number of hours worked, and that is your income. So you can increase the number on either side of that equation, and your result will be increased income. And passive income streams increase the amount of money per hour variable. That starts in life with mere pennies and just continues to build up. I could personally meet my current basic budget with no other source of income with a mere $350,000 invested that is pumping monthly dividend payments into my income stream. That's the eventual goal, although I hope to have other sources of income. Finally, the little things add up, like credit card, grocery store rewards cards, any kind of rewards, air miles, etc. Doing things like returning your cans and bottles for a refund, trimming your excess possessions and selling them. All of this contributes to increasing your income. So, number 4, this one is investment specific and not an exact science. This is about predicting the best rate of return for your investments over your time horizon and then following that pathway. For example, I am almost 40 and would hope to semi retire at around 60, 63. Therefore, I want the investments that will get me the best return in about 20 years. My plan is to use mostly growth and value stocks with dividends and REITs, which I think the ones I've chosen will grow in value in the long term. And then when I retire, I will convert most of my portfolio into a big dividend generator like QYLD, which will generate 10 to 11%, which is distributed monthly. Some of the REITs have or will have dividends close to the QYLD, so I might just hold on to those. Now, that is what fits my timeline. But if I could go back in time and have a time horizon of, say, 30, 40 years, my strategy would focus on value stocks, low management fee index funds that track the market, and of course, tech stocks like Tesla, Google, and I'm purposefully not mentioning number 5 yet. Number 5, cryptocurrency. Now, I remember when you could literally trade your pizza for Bitcoin, and both sides were feeling smug when they walked away from that deal. For a little while, anyway. Now, insert all the usual risk disclaimers here, etc. This is not advice in any way. Now, this is what I am doing, and I could unfortunately be so wrong, either from not investing enough perspective or for doing it at all. So crypto was less than 3% of my portfolio. And here is the why and what of what I'm doing when I say crypto investing. Um, so Bitcoin at the least, and most big name coins tend to have lots of small fluctuations in price, which I call waves. These are typically small and fast waves. And lately, Bitcoin's price has been bouncing between about 60,000 and 64,000 for a single Bitcoin. That's in Canadian. Well, all crypto allows partial investments. For example, you can buy zero point 0.005 Bitcoin. So, through Wealth Simple commission free crypto trading and minus the transaction cost that the coins will charge you when you trade, um, so at the bottom of the wave, right now around $60,000, that is where I buy. At the top of the wave, if and when the wave reaches a 15% gain for me, that's where I sell. And the pattern continues. Um, the more money I had in crypto, obviously, the more I would make from this strategy. And the faster that I would hit that 15% magic return number. However, I am not personally in a position in life to take on too much risk, so less than 3% it will be for now. I might regret not going all in, as many have regretted before me. But on the other hand, that is why they call it risk. So concludes today's podcast on speeding up the wealth building process. I hope you found at least some of these tips useful and that you integrate them soon, if you haven't already, into your quest for more knowledge so that you can make the best choices for you and your individual financial needs. Add the Canadian Financial Survival Channel to your list of weapons. Subscribe, like, win.